Hello. Uh, hello. Let me go get my water. Hopefully, music isn't too loud. It might have been, so sorry if it was. But hello. How is your Sunday going? How has the weekend been? These last couple of days have been pretty good. Music's good now. Okay, I need to work on that. On how to fix that. Um, yeah. But I've been pretty good these last few days, so that's how I've been. But yeah, I have a few stories. It's from this website that I'll be linking each story from it in like the pinned comment. It's been good for you too, but busy. Is it good busy or bad busy? Good busy being like you feel well, like productive. Bad busy is like exhaustion. Medium is just acceptance that every day is just gonna be like this, but I get to go back home and eat some food, so that's the good part of it, or whatever, you know. Um, but yeah, I'm seeing something on my phone. Oh geez, okay, that's a good thing I did not like um put that on screen. Okay. You would say medium busy? Medium busy, okay. Well, at least it's not taking like such a bad toll on you. But yeah, so the stories is more so catered like these I searched up stories for adults and it provides it as that, but it also provides it like as family as well. But it's a story, it's a bedtime story, so I'm gonna try to read it. But let me get water too, because my mouth is already feeling kind of dry and I'm already kind of nervous. So let me get that. All good, take your time. Yeah, thank Angel, hey. Thank you for coming by. I'm just getting water and setting up and trying not to be nervous reading these stories. But how are you? So, I have the website ready and some moisture in my mouth, if that does not sound weird or whatever. But yeah, hopefully, um, the music isn't too loud for when I read it. You're good? How am I? I'm doing pretty well. I'm doing pretty good. Moist. Yeah. I don't want to stutter much. And I tried finding good like reading BGM, but like not a lot of it is good. And like they also come in like playlists to the point where like I can't pick out which songs are like copyright free or not. And it'll like take a while to just pick out the ones that's not copyright free and ones that's are, and it's just weird. But let me see. Let's start with the one that I started with last Sunday. And it's called The Story of the Tired Moon. I like the story. It's short, but I like it because I don't know. If not cringy, it's very relatable in a way. I don't know. Okay. I just basically like the moon, and I guess what happens in the story can be relatable. I don't know. Okay, you just gotta listen and yeah, and read along if you want, because I'll be posting the link as well. But I don't know if I should have the music on or not, but it'll be whatever. So, oh my gosh, I hear my little sister laughing in the other room, and it distracts me because she laughs so much. But yeah. Let me pin it, and I'll put the title at above me. Okay. Where's the okay. It would be the story of the tired moon. Okay. It's not showing up. It should show up now. Yeah, there we go. Okay. um all right. Let me drink a bit more water. Okay. Okay. Let me put back on just the regular BGM, and hopefully it sounds pretty well along with it and not too much over my voice. It's still difficult to tell from just one laptop and a phone, but it is a-okay. Sounds good, thank you. Okay. Alright. So, the name of the story is called The Story of the Tired Moon. Okay. Okay, let me not smile too much because that's just gonna mess me up and it's gonna make me stutter more. Okay. Okay. So, the story of the tired moon. The moon worked day in and day out, but it often went unnoticed. The moon was always in the sky, shining especially bright through the dark nights. When it was very big and full, it could illuminate whole fields and streets, covering everything in a beautiful white glow. On nights when the sky was very clear, the moon could even shine in through people's windows. On those nights, everyone admired it for its size and splendor. During the day, the sun was always the center of attention. It was especially well liked by the inhabitants of Earth for its warm rays. On summer days, the moon had to wait much longer for the sun to finally set, and thick clouds often blocked the moon's view of Earth. On some days, heavy rains meant that the moon had to try to shine through solid fog and dark clouds, but often couldn't manage it. On those days, the moon was especially discouraged. "Nobody sees me anyway," the moon would mutter, feeling sorry for itself and the faint, flickering stars around it. Still, evening after evening, the moon waited for its time to shine, often saying, "Come on, clouds, pass quickly." When it was finally dark enough, the moon would gently begin to wake the stars and encourage them to shine. Each evening, the moon made sure all the stars were ready on time to shine and sparkle high in the sky in case it was a clear night. On clear nights, all the attention belonged to the stars and the moon. Sometimes the stars were so happy that they danced across the sky, leaving long trails of light behind them. One day, the clouds spread so far that for weeks there was no way to shine through. The stars tried to keep each other happy by telling jokes and stories, and the moon did its best to keep everyone awake for nightfall in case the clouds cleared. This went on, night after night, with the moon and the stars all hoping that the cloud coverage would dissipate. Of course, they all wanted to be prepared to shine as brightly as possible when it did, but the clouds did not move. Eventually, the moon became very tired. One evening, it could not stay awake any longer. The stars also fell asleep, dreaming of clear nights when they were admired in the sky. The moon and the stars were in such a deep sleep that none of them noticed when the cloud coverage broke. That day, the sun stayed out late and colored the sky with the most beautiful reds and purples. But something wasn't right. When the sun was about to disappear, it noticed the sky was darker than usual. On evenings like this, the moon usually can't wait to take over my position in the sky, the sun thought. Then the sun noticed that all the stars were missing too. "I must find the moon before the inhabitants of Earth notice," thought the sun. But everyone the sun asked didn't know where the moon and the stars had gone. And everywhere the sun looked, the moon wasn't there. The next few nights were the darkest anyone had ever seen. There wasn't a twinkle in the sky. The animals and people realized they had been taking the moon and the countless little stars for granted. They missed their glowing and glittering. The moon suddenly woke up from a dream that it had overslept, except it wasn't a dream. Nervously, the moon looked around and was startled to find that the night was pitch black and that all the stars were fast asleep. Right away, the moon set about gently waking each star. On Earth, after many nights of darkness, the animals and people looked up to the sky in joy and marveled as each bright spot lit up in the dark sky one after the other. The end. You got this. I stuttered a lot, but not a lot, but like a couple of times, and I had to moisten my throat, but it's whatever. So the end for that story. That was cute. Yeah, I really like that one. And some sort of resonation with the moon in this story in some parts is what I relate to, basically, I guess. I don't know. You enjoyed it? Thank you. I'll get better. I'll get better through this. Oh my gosh. Not the howl. Hey, Seth. Thank you for coming by, too. No awooing right now. Okay, time for the other one. The other one that they have listed is, I don't know if I'll like that one. Okay, so there was one that I read last week also that I really liked. It was called like the I Love You book, or is it like my special light, and it was talking about like what you love about yourself. It was two, I think. So let me find it. Wait, history. I should have like bookmarked it, but surely it's not too far. Almost there. Almost. Oh, wait. I think I got it. Wait. It was called No, it was called the Thank You book, not the I Love You book. Okay. So I want to read that one, and I want to read Your Magic Light, and then move on to newer ones. Okay. Let me go with put you here, and then put this one here. Okay. So this one is called the Thank You book, but for some reason I'm gonna link it also. It has illustration and has the author that I'm gonna credit also in like the pinned comment and above my head. But every time like I go on this page, like things run slow, and I don't want the stream to like crash or whatever. So I'm just gonna do it like that because the illustration is really nice as well. But regardless, I'll put the author's name and illustrator's name. So the next story will be the Thank You book. And pin this. Alright. Okay. I need to change the name of this text from drink count, because that's all the way from New Year's, and that was very odd. Odd stream. The thank you book by it is by Jade Matry or whatever. Jade Matry, illustrated by Yesum Source. Okay. Okay, and I'm gonna move it more above me. Alright. Next story is the Thank You book by Jade Matry. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Okay. Okay. New story. The Thank You book by Jade Matry. In the morning, when the sunshine glimmers out of the skies of blue, I look outside my window and I think, world, I love you. The breeze is warm and welcoming. It holds me in a hug. And everyone and everywhere is showing signs of love. Yeah, the illustrations are adorable. I watch the gentle branches of the trees that touch our house. They help us breathe and make a home for birdies, ants, and a mouse. I see the tips of neighbors' roofs. A postman rings the bell. The doggy leaves to say hello. He gives his hand to smell. And by the way he gives his hand, and the way Pup sniffs it too, I can see that it's a sort of way they're saying, I love you. So, okay. So, Angel, basically, the way you say I love you to someone is by sniffing their hand? Wow, okay. Interesting, okay. Three friends walk by in summer clothes. Exactly. Okay. Just like that. Okay. Three friends walk by in Three friends walk by in summer clothes, in hats and long sarongs. They tell a joke and then they laugh. Their laughter like a song. A boy rides by on bicycle. His daddy runs behind. He says, You're fast, faster than me. His laughing eyes are kind. And I am standing in the shorts my nan bought me for bed. When I put them on, she laughed and clapped. A real beauty, she said. So I'm in my pajamas, just as cozy as can be. She could have bought some chocolates, but instead she thought of me. And isn't that just how we love? By thinking of how sweet it would be if somebody else had something good to eat. Or something good to cuddle with, or something good to play, or plan some sort of good surprise to make their happy day. I have a house above my head, a bedroom where I sleep, a place to play, a place to read, a place to talk and eat. And love has built up all these things. We're not a house, a home, 'cause things are nice, but nicer still is knowing we're not alone. Aww. And sweeter than the sweetest song is Mama's call for tea. I hear it bounce from every room and travel up to me. I make my bed. I put my teddy neat beside my cup. Someone sewed the sheets by hand. Someone dreamt them up. Someone had all sorts of fancies dancing through their head. And then they thought, let's make a kid the nicest kind of bed. And now I'm in the kitchen, and my family is all there. Dad has made porridge with such tender love and care. He put the milk I like with it. Beside my special spoon, we talk about the day to come. The love fills up the room. I'm warm with it when school time comes. I kiss Mama goodbye. The bus is winking in the sun. The bus driver says hi. So lucky for this precious day, for all I'll see and do. I feel the love of everyone and say, I love you too. Yay! That was the thank you book. Okay. So that one, it was always nice to read, even though it's the second time. It's still a nice read, and I like the little book. Okay, and now the next story is Your Magic Light, and it's by the same author and illustrator. Very beautiful story. Exactly. So, your magic light. That's what it was. Your magic light. Okie dokie. Alright. Oh, and the link. Let me pin the link. Oh, okay. I heard like a buzzing in my room. I thought that was something, but it was just wind flittering on like plastic or something. It almost drove me crazy because I hate bugs. Oh my gosh. Okay. Your magic light. Too real. Once upon a time, you lived in your mama's belly. Inside you was a spark of light. It glowed warm, like a dancing firefly. It was happiness and love all wrapped up together. Because Mama was the first to feel this little spark of light. She was the first person to know what it was. That light made her so happy. She got bigger and bigger with happiness until one day she had to let it all out. And you came along. Once you were born, your little light flickered and fed from the beautiful road it grew. Every time you saw a sunrise or heard a bird sing or cuddled someone, you grew a little bit brighter. Day by day, you grew taller and stronger, and the little light grew so bright that it started to light up others too. And so every time you smiled at someone with your biggest gummy smile, those people smiled back. And their own little lights, like yours, but different, because they were their own, well, their lights grew larger too. And then those people went down the street and smiled at the grocer and the bus driver and the shop assistant, and their lights also flared brighter. And it was a sort of magic, but your magic did that. By the end of your first year, if you were to look down on the planet from somewhere very high, you would see the tiny stars between all the people you'd met and the people they'd met. And they would flicker and grow with the light that had been passed down between them, in all the colors of the rainbow. And all the people you'd met, and the people they'd met, and even the people they'd met, were now walking around with lovely feelings, like shooting stars, which pass from one person to the next. You were born at just the right time, little one, when the world needed the particular kind of light that your soul grows. Yeah. You were born for it, to share your own glow with the people around you. When things feel bad or hard, it's a good time to remember that your light can help take that away. Maybe it's only a little light sometimes. Maybe it feels too small to light up the world. Who put the onions here? But the secret about your light is it's a gift. You've got to give a gift. The word tells us so. And even if your light feels small or sad, remember how the biggest trees grow from tiny seeds. Don't ever make your light smaller because you think it's too bright for others. That's impossible. You can never be too bright. Instead, grow your light with beautiful things and loved ones and things that make you happy. Grow it by helping others and showing them how to love and be loved and the way that you love yourself and the people around you. And watch the happiness and love spread between everyone like dancing fireflies. It's a sort of magic, but your magic does that, and you were born for it. Yay, okay. There was that story. That was your magic light. Water. You love that one? Yeah, I like it. It's a good realization to yourself about the light you're carrying in you. I'm not crying, you're crying. I'm trying to remember the last time a book made me cry. What book was it that I read? I think the last time a book made me cry was Their Eyes Were Watching God. By hey, I have the book right here. Hold on, let me go to my like bookshelf / bed. Hold on. Okay. I didn't go on mute, so you might have heard like bed creaks. Zora Neale Hurston. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. What part was it? I don't quite remember which part. I just remember crying at it. Another book, I guess, that made me emotional was Call Me by Your Name. I don't know how y'all feel about the book or the movie or whatever, but personally, I liked Call Me by Your Name. But that's just me. And it's like, if I had to ask what's my top movie so far in my life, it would be Call Me by Your Name. It's just, the movie is beautiful, the story's beautiful. I'm sorry, okay? People have things against it. It's like, but I like the story. Call Me by Your Name is really brutal. It is, most definitely. Especially the ending, like in the movie too. Oh my god. Like that movie is beautiful, and this like the book itself is beautiful also. And it's like, I feel like the more negative like views on it is due to TikTok, but I'm not gonna get too much into it because that's like another thing that I'm passionate about defending. Is Call Me by Your Name. But yeah. Now if I had to talk about a webtoon that made me cry. Okay, when was it? Because I think it was a couple of months back. I was reading. Cause I would read a lot of like webtoon. Not okay, so it's really not webtoons, but it's more so like manhwas, like Korean GL comics and stuff. And I think the one that actually like made me emotional was which one? Cause I've read a lot, and now I'm like getting confused. Was it Moonlight Garden? No, it wasn't. The image is coming back though. Hold on. Darn it! It left me again. It's whatever. But if I remember it, I don't know, recommend it by the end of the stream if I remember it by the end of the stream. But if I had to talk about a GL that made me mad recently was the stupid Lily of the Garden. Oh my gosh. If you're ever interested in reading that, just know it's gonna aggravate the heck out of you. Cause the main girl, oh my gosh. She's so like easily misguided, I guess. But I won't go into that much more, but because it's just like an aggravation and a lot of people are not really liking it. But sorry about that. But every time when I come to like reading it, when I start reading it, or after like I read that chapter, I look at the comments for it, and it's always funny to look at the comments because people are so aggravated at it, and they have like threats in it too, but it's not like threats towards the author or whatever, but it's like threats towards like the characters in the story. And one of these days I'll just like put on screen like the comments that I've seen because it's way too funny. But yeah, if you ever are curious to read Lily of the Garden, just know you're gonna be so aggravated by it. But have a hard time separating reality from fiction. Yeah. So like, even though I get mad about it, I don't take it super duper serious. But but then when I see people like in the comments going crazy over it, it's just funny to me. Let me see if I can like read one thing that like won't spoil. I don't know if I can read that. But like every time I like see it, like I read it in like this like bratty voice like in my head because I just imagine how like that person sounds if they were to read it. It's so stupid. Like I screenshotted it. It's okay. Another time. Another time. Got in character, yeah. Hold on, okay. Okay, so basically what happens in the story, there's like this duchess, and there's rumors about her being like very manipulative and all that type of stuff. And it's seen how she has been, but like the main girl, okay. I'll just explain it. Okay. So there's Lily, the main girl. She has been stuck in the castle for like a greater amount of her life, but she's due to be sent off to this other castle that's headed by this duchess. So Lily, who's like I guess the princess of that palace or whatever. This sounds just okay, just listen. Who's the princess, I guess basically of that castle, has I guess a servant named Anna. But it's not really a servant, it's just basically a maid or whatever. Has a maid who's been with her like her whole life. And they've grown close and all that type of stuff. And Lily is just basically asking like, oh, I feel more for you. Are you okay with that or whatever? And Anna's like saying like, oh yeah, I've also felt that way for you. But Anna like still to have to be like with the or like the has to be cordial with the way she addresses her. She calls her like, oh sorry, I hit the mic again. Okay. She calls her like a young lady. And so she's like so Lily would ask her like a question, and she would like answer like, yes young lady, and all that type of stuff. But don't worry about that, okay? That's like a whole different thing that people are into. But what else? So she's then sent off to be brought to the Duchess. Seven, shush, okay? But it's like and also Lily, she's like 20. So what is it? I had it in my head. So yeah, she's sent off to the other castle to meet the Duchess, and the Duchess is like this tall, lavish woman with red hair, redheaded bob cut. And I know I've already talked about this before about redheads, but she's the only redhead that I just don't like at all. But in terms of characters, when it comes to redheads. But yeah, so she's just there, and she has like that seductive air and everything, and Anna's like can like sense it from a mile away, like she's already turning on that like deceptiveness and whatever. So like in her heart she's like yearning for like Lily to just, she doesn't want Lily to be manipulated by her. But you can tell by the reactions people have and that I've talked about, she was deceived by her. But basically, yeah, so to basically explain one of the comments I'm about to read to you right now, the Duchess, I really don't know what her name is. She most likely goes by Duchess the whole time in the story. Even Lily, like, she has a name, but Lily just addresses her as Duchess in like different things that happens in the in the story. But basically there was a scene that Lily wandered off in the night to the Duchess's castle because she was sent back to her own castle for the night because she was just visiting the Duchess for the first time. But so she left her own castle in the middle of the night and went over to the Duchess's castle at night. And one of the rumors was that like the Duchess is like really basically, she just like, the plot thickens, she's just very seductive, okay? And so she's known around by many princesses. And so Lily wanders off into the castle at night, and she's like, I don't know what the heck, why she left over like to go there, but she did. And so she hears noises from a door, okay? She hears noises coming from a door, and then she looks through a keyhole and things are happening. But that's what I'm gonna say. That's it. But there's things going on, and so basically okay, my little sister laughing too. She needs to stop. Okay. Basically, the person in the comment who's angry said, hoping the Duchess invites 15 women back to the room to make you feel stupid. I hate you, Lily. So so basically, the Duchess is trying to make Lily feel like, oh, she's the only girl in the world, when she's not. She's not the only girl in the world, and she's not the only girl for her. So, but the Duchess is so like quick. I don't know, like what, smooth tongued? Is that like the word? Like for like someone who's good at like flirting or something? um Oh my gosh, these GLs, man. She's very, I guess, manipulative, but yeah. But they commented that, and with like two emojis with the heart eyes, like, and just sarcasm. The bourgeoisie is a smooth talker, It broke your heart too many times. Okay, then don't read this one, because oh my gosh, okay, something happens in it. I know, like, people, like, early on it was like people have a hard time separating like reality from like fiction, whatever. This is the one moment that got me like asking my friend, like, if you were put in this situation, what would you do? Would you stand there and cry like freaking Anna did in this story, or would you have gone in and done something? And to them, they always said like it depends on like who's doing more. And okay, you know what, don't worry about that, but basically the 15 women that this person commented about is just basically what Lily saw in that door hole, the keyhole. Yeah, but yeah, that was a wild scene. So yeah, but wait. Wait, I want to find like the older comments. But just like the instant hate is just funny to me. The keyhole, okay, the keyhole of, yeah, the door. But okay, like, I'm like, now that I'm talking about it and thinking about it, it's just that scene, not the scene that I'm just talking about, but the scene that like made everyone really, really mad. The door, right? Yeah, the door. But the scene that basically, I don't know if you want to read it. It's like, it's 9 chapters so far. It's 9 chapters. But oh man, just the thing that happens, I think it happens in the 5th or 6th chapter, and it made me feel so bad for Anna. Like felt so bad for her, because that was heartbreaking just to see, and that made me think, like, if I were put in that situation, how would I react? Like, would I react the way Anna did? And like, I don't think I would have reacted the way Anna did. I don't think I would have. So and so I would have answered the same way my friends did. It depends on who is doing what. So, yeah. Because if there's someone... Okay, don't worry about it. But basically, that's the story. That's what I want to talk about with that. But yeah, basically... I keep saying basically. But, yeah. I guess the Duchess can be smooth-tongued in other ways. Whatever. Back to bedtime stories. Oh my gosh. But Anna is better. Anna's better. Okay, Anna is better. But like the chapter that came out yesterday got me like, Anna, come on, man, you finally you're getting what you wanted, and now you're crying, man. Why are you crying? Oh my gosh. Hannah, man, Hannah. But let me get back to these stories. Hold on, my Chrome is loading. Okay. I want to talk about so many GLs. Oh, okay. Let's see. Okay. Do I really want to recommend that one? Okay, well, one that's a funny one that I would want to recommend that just concluded its like second season is Not So Shoujo Love Story. And that's on Webtoon, and I really like that one. But oh, also, I like Mage and the Demon Queen. That is another good one. I love Mage and the Demon Queen. But if open to it, that sounds like fun. Yeah, Mage and the Demon Queen is really fun. It's like more fantasy. It's yeah. It's set in a more like fantasy type of genre. Yeah. And it's funny. Not So Shoujo Love Story, it's like slice of life, I guess. But if you want one that you can read like just for the night, but if you're like sneaky enough, you can read in the day. Okay, no. Okay, that one is gonna just reveal too much about about me, and I don't want to like air all of my stuff out like that. But darn it! No. Okay, this it starts with an L, you know, and it's the number 2. It starts with an L and there's a 2 in it. Okay. Your secret is safe with me? Just if you're ever curious, in the nighttime, 2 shy dogs up in here. Oh my gosh. Okay. This one is pretty intense. Not pretty, it's kind of intense. I'll plug my ears. Okay. Plug ears. Okay. Look up. I don't know if you can still hear me. Cool. Look up. Lilith 2. Okay? It's, it has a story to it. Okay? And it's very interesting. And, not all of it is, like, of my interest, but it's, like, very interesting to see this, things happening. And one day, okay. That's it. Too much of me. Yeah, don't think about it. Don't think about it. Okay, but serious bedtime story time. Shushers. I need shushers. Okay. See, I get too way ahead of myself sometimes. I need to stop. But, let's see. What other story? Princess Jessie and the Unicorn. I don't know about that. Jail! Yeah, I deserve time for that. Ooh, wait, okay. There's another one. Okay. This one isn't as intense, but it has a story to it. It's not as intense as Lilith. Lilith. Oh, sorry. That was too that was too loud. Lilith 2, not Lilith. That one is weird. And I didn't really read that one. Lilith 2 is where it's at. Okay? Look at that one instead. Not Lilith. Did not like Lilith. Don't do Lilith. Okay. But one that's not as intense is Bad Thinking Diary. That one is a good one. Yeah, it's just like it has a story to it and it can be funny at times. And it can be cute. And the girl, not what's her, not Yuna is fine, but the girl, what's her name? Hold on. Bad Thinking Diary character. Minji. Oh man, Minji. Okay, she is like, okay, she's a type. And the main girl in Lilith 2 is a type. Learning a lot about it. I'm doing this to myself. I hate this. But yeah, what's the name of the teacher? The teacher in Lilith 2 is a type. Yuna can be a type. Oh my gosh. What's her name? Why am I just listing this out? It's just because I just want to talk, basically. Saving for later. Yeah, later. But I digress. From that. I have to. But yeah, it just got me thinking, okay? But let's okay. In the state of thinking, let's talk about Jasper the Thoughtful Lion. That is the next bedtime story for tonight. Enough stories about different things about me. He sounds nice. He very much so does. Let me open up the story and link it. I know after the stream I'm gonna like be mad at myself, like, why'd you say all that? But that's just how things go, and I'll be over it the next day. Just like me, for real. That's just how things go, yeah. Oh man, I want to say so much more. Okay, zip it, lock, and gone. Alright, Jasper, let me link this. Okay, one more wife statement. Okay, Asami from Legend of Korra. Okay, that's it. And you're from Spy Family. Okay, that's it. That's it. Uh there needs to be like an actual like zip that I can actually zip my mouth like in real life. Like, oh my gosh. It's just because like I want to talk. That's just why. Asami was awesome. Okay. Asami is like okay. Ah, when it comes to like who would you want to wife, it would either for me be Asami or Yor from Spy Family. Real outing hours. The eyes, yes. Okay. I don't know. It's just I don't know. Okay, when it comes to like GLs and like basically women, it's just nonstop talking. I guess I don't know. I digress. I need to digress because the thoughtful lion or whatever, Jasper the thoughtful lion, deserves his spotlight and not my blabbering. Okay. And I know one of my guy friends is watching. He's like my best friend. I know he's gonna like message me after. He's like, you need to be quiet. Read your stories. Jeez. I'm sorry, man. Like, I'll fix that. All right. Let me post the link here. Whoa. Okay. It's working, and I'll put the title back up here. Type it. Okay. Jasper the thoughtful lion. Alright, it's up there and it's from the Lemons and Letter website link that I posted. Okay. Okay, continuing. Hopefully the stream is still up. But I know stuff on my computer's loading slow. Okay. Continuing. So, Jasper the thoughtful lion. Jasper the lion could hear their laughter even from a distance. Susan the zebra and Richard the meerkat playfully raced through the dry grass, kicking up dust and wind. When they were completely out of breath, they ran over to the shady spot where Jasper was sitting. "Hey Jasper, come play with us," said Susan. "You're good here? Okay." "What's the matter, Jasper?" Richard asked, noticing Jasper's mood. What were you thinking about? Jasper didn't really know what he had just been thinking about. "Just keep playing without me," he mumbled. Susan and Richard looked at each other. "But Jasper, you're going to miss the whole day if you keep this up," said Susan. "Can we help? Maybe the three of us could think about it together." But Jasper didn't want to accept their help. Friends always stick together, said Richard. "And if you don't tell us what's on your mind, we'll tickle you until you do." Susan and Richard giggled at the idea of tickling Jasper's tummy. "All right, I'll tell you," said Jasper before they could tickle him. There was an accident yesterday when I was visiting my grandmother. I was playing chase with my little cousin, and I was about to finally catch him when I tripped over a tree root, and fell into the table. I heard a terrible crash. When I turned around, I saw Grandma's favorite teapot lying on the ground in pieces. Was she very mad? Asked Susan, who sympathized with Jasper. No, she wasn't mad at all, he said. She told me not to worry about it, but I know how much she loved that teapot. Jasper looked even sadder now. Enough sulking, said Richard. Why don't we help you to glue the pieces together? Your grandma won't even notice any difference from before. Jasper took out a bag with the pieces of the broken teapot. Richard got glue and a brush, and in no time, the three of them had glued the teapot back together. Well, it doesn't look new, but I'm sure your grandma will be very happy anyway, said Susan. Let's go see what she says, said Jasper. The three of them set off. They were greeted by Jasper's grandma at the garden gate. Hello, you three, she said. Do you want to have a piece of cake with me? I still have a few left over from yesterday. I can offer you juice and water to go with it. I'd love some tea, said Jasper. And I have the perfect teapot too. Jasper beamed as he handed his grandma the prepared teapot. You three are the best, said Grandma. This teapot is very old. It belonged to my grandmother. Thank you so much for fixing it. Now let's eat cake. Jasper smiled and felt all his worries melt away. Okay, that was a quick one. But yay, the teapot got fixed. Let's see what others. Let's do Rosie the flying piglet. Okay, so let me link that one. So this one is going to be called... Hold on. Okay, I got it. Okay, let me change the title of it. Rosie the flying piglet? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Rosie the flying piglet. Rosie had been looking forward to her 5th birthday for weeks. She could hardly wait for her party with all her friends. Her excitement grew with each passing day as she helped with the preparations. Rosie's mom baked the most delicious cakes in the whole world and loved to try new recipes. It always smelled delicious in their house. For Rosie's birthday, she was making 3 different kinds of cakes: a chocolate cake, a cheesecake, and a strawberry shortcake. Rosie wasn't sure how she wanted to decorate the house and garden, or how her invitations would look. She did know that she wanted to invite each guest personally. As she rummaged through the drawers in her room looking for inspiration, she found a bag full of brightly colored balloons. I know, she thought. When I hand out the invitations, I'll give each of my friends a balloon. That way, when they come to my party, we can blow them up and decorate the yard together. Rosie's mom helped her make the invitations, and they delivered them to her friend's house that afternoon on the way to pick some fresh strawberries. The next morning, Rosie's parents woke her up with a birthday song and a strawberry shortcake with 5 colorful candles on it. Grandma and Grandpa had already arrived. The table was decorated and covered with beautifully wrapped presents. Rosie was very happy. She was especially excited about her new scooter. She went outside to try it out. She practiced keeping her balance and soon managed to ride the scooter quite well. She was so focused that she lost track of time and was surprised when the first guests started arriving for her party. She showed them her new scooter and demonstrated her new tricks. Jeez. Daniel the rabbit had already blown up his purple balloon and was holding it high in the air. The hedgehog had done the same with her red balloon. The mouse brought his yellow balloon. The badger, the fox, and the squirrel arrived next, each with their blue, green, and orange balloons. Everyone greeted Rosie, wished her a happy birthday, and handed her their gifts. To keep their paws free for the party, Rosie's friends all tied their colorful balloons to her scooter. It already had many colorful balloons attached to it when the mouse came to tie up his. Just then, a strong gust of wind caught the balloons and swept the scooter and Rosie, who had been standing on it, into the air. The mouse, who had still been tying her balloon's string, was now clinging to the handlebars. Okay. Hold on. My little sister's like making noise. Okay, I'm back. Where was I? The mouse, who had still been tying his balloon string, was now clinging to the handlebars as they rose higher and higher. Before long, they were above the roof on Rosie's house. That's when they noticed that Daniel had been swept up too. He was hanging onto the back of the scooter and his ears were standing on end out of fear. The hedgehog, who had tried to help keep the scooter and his friends on the ground, was dangling from Daniel's foot. Rosie was the first to regain her composure. "Hold on tight, I'm going to pull you up," she said as she reached out her hoof to the rabbit and pulled him and hedgehog onto the scooter. Safer than before, the four of them stood on the scooter as it continued to float above the village. They were able to relax a bit since they were no longer in immediate danger. "Everything is so beautiful from up here, and tiny," said the mouse. "But how are we going to get back down?" the rabbit worried. Meanwhile, all the party guests were watching anxiously from below. Grandma and Mom were worried they would all fall. "I've never seen anything like it," said Grandpa. We need to think of something," said Rosie's dad. The badger, the fox, and the squirrel were pacing nervously. Just then, a tiny sparrow flew past the strange balloonist and noticed that something was wrong. He circled them several times and said, "You don't look very happy up here. Can I help you?" "We need to get back to the ground, but I'm not sure how you can help. You're so small," said Rosie. "Just you wait," said the little sparrow as he puffed up his chest. With great flourish, he flew toward the red balloon and popped it with his pointed beak. The scooter, and its four passengers descended a bit towards the ground. Then he popped the yellow balloon, and so on until they finally landed gently in a meadow. Everyone thanked the sparrow, and Rosie invited him to join her birthday party. They all they all took off towards the rest of the guests, who were still quite worried. When they arrived, everyone was relieved no one had been hurt. They all happily returned to the celebration. When everyone was seated at the table, Rosie said, "I didn't wish to be a flying piglet for my birthday, but it was the best surprise I could have imagined." The end for that. Okay. Cute. Yep. Let me see. Maybe two more stories and one poem, and I guess that'll be it? Maybe. Most likely. I took up a good amount of time blabbering about that stuff. But it was so much fun for me. But yeah, let me pick the other one. Panda! Hey! How are you? It has. Oh, jeez. Okay, I was trying to adjust myself in my chair, but the chair hit the desk. It has been a minute. How are you? How are you? I'm just moving too much in my chair and just reading bedtime stories and not chatting about GL. But you're good? I'm doing very good too. Oh, and I got a new PNG, so I'm excited about that. And I'm gonna be using that Friday. Friday is when I'm doing. You love bedtime stories? Me too. These are more I guess it's for anybody, but it's just it can be used for it's just for anyone, basically. Let me continue. Next story will be, let's see. This one seems interesting. It's something they said is for the fall, but I think it's kind of cool. The Three Forest Musicians. So I feel like that would 8 minutes. I don't think it'll be that bad. Maybe for the last story, but just start me off easy. Okay, the Elf Lantern Parade. Let's try that. Okay, so let me give the link to that one if you want to follow along. Oh man, I feel like a teacher saying that. I feel so much like a teacher, and I don't want to be a teacher. So the Elf Lantern Parade. It's a kind of a cool title. I spell lantern. No, I didn't. It's the N. There we go. The Elf Lantern Parade. Okay. A family of elves lived in the middle of the forest under the roots of a huge oak tree. Elves arra- Sorry. Putting my phone on do not disturb. Okay. A family of elves lived in the middle of the forest under the roots of a huge oak tree. Elves arranged their routines and rituals according to the four seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. They learned this from their parents, who had learned it from their parents, and so on. Now they were passing it on to their children. Each season offered something very special, and so the change of seasons was always celebrated amongst the community of forest dwellers. They would prepare a big table with seasonal items and delicacies, and the young elves would help search for decorations which were gathered in nature. Autumn was coming, and there would be acorns, chestnuts, beautiful twigs, and colorful leaves, as well as crisp apples and juicy pears. In autumn, the whole forest changes colors, a little bit each day. Some leaves turn from a rich green to a bright yellow, while others turn to a deep shade of red. Eventually, some of them turn brown and fall from the trees. A heavy rainstorm could bring down hundreds more of the colorful leaves, and eventually the forest floor would be covered in a soft layer of mulch. That's how the elves would know that winter was not far off. Before autumn began, the elves had a lot to do. They gathered berries and made juices and jam to have throughout the winter. They collected delicious mushrooms and dried and stowed them away. They picked the last beautiful flowers in the meadows and put them in a press made of wooden discs. These were for the upcoming Lantern Festival, a highlight in the forest community. Ooh, that sounds cool. The days were becoming noticeably shorter, and often the family sat around the big table by candlelight. Oh, I thought I saw a fly. I'm sorry. The days were becoming noticeably shorter, and often the family sat around the big table by candlelight with tea and crispy pastry. They would keep busy by knitting, sewing, and crocheting. They made hats, scarves, gloves, and socks to keep warm as the weather got cooler. The children also worked on their lanterns. They each tried to make their lantern the most beautiful by gluing an arrangement of dried flowers and leaves on it. When they were finished decorating, they attached them to sticks and placed a candle inside. When the Lantern Festival finally arrived, you could see a long line of young elves and other forest dwellers gathered with their glowing lanterns. They walked together happily through the forest. Some of them sang songs. Almost the whole forest was lit up with beautiful lanterns. I feel like that would look so cool. Oh man. An owl who was just waking up said, "Where did all these fireflies come from?" Some of the nearby forest dwellers giggled and explained, "Dear owl, did you forget today is the lantern parade? Come with us. We'll light your way." And so the procession went on as more forest dwellers joined in. A splendor of radiant lights shone throughout the forest. The elders had lit a fire in a large harvested field at the edge of the forest. When the parade arrived, everyone stood in a big circle around the warm fire and sang lantern songs. The children swayed their lanterns to the beat. When the fire grew dim, and the first lanterns started burning out, they all noticed a pleasant aroma in the air. An old badger and a bunch of elves were serving a big basket of freshly baked bread rolls. Ooh! These are the most delicious bread rolls I have ever eaten, said a little fox. The others agreed. Everyone wanted to know the recipe, so the badger promised to write it down for them. The youngest elves grew tired. They were celebrating the Lantern Festival for the first time, and it was a big day. Meanwhile, the older ones well knew that winter would be here again very soon, and that the rhythmic change of seasons would go on and on. The end for that one. Man, I want to go to a lantern festival. I know my city usually has it, but I never got I don't know, I never got the chance to go at all or had the money. But yeah. One of these days I'll be able to. And hopefully take someone with me, cuz I think that would be very nice. But let's see. There was, okay, that was one. Maybe another one? Or just... Let's try... Two more stories. The last story will be the longer one. This one, Spooky Night's Castle. Oh, okay, that's basically like the... That's basically the same length. Let's just go to the Three Forest Musicians, the 8-minute one. Okay. Okay, let me get the link ready. I like the cover for this one. Did y'all hear that? Like a thud? Hopefully not. The Three Forest Musicians. You did? That is my little sister being way too active. The three, and I'm sorry about it. The Three Forest Musicians. Lil Sis Zoomies. For real. Oh my gosh. Because basically the complete Oh my gosh. She's talking loud now. Okay. Let me just continue. The Three Forest Musicians. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's continue. Okay, it's getting more silent now. Okay, so that's good. Let me get the story. Alright, got it. The Three Forest Musicians. Okay, this is the longer one. Rustling could be heard throughout the forest this time of year. The autumn leaves fell softly to the ground, and sometimes single, brightly colored leaves floated up towards the sky. Do you hear those wonderful songs too? Whispered Bruce the bear when he spotted Matthew the raccoon behind a tree. Matthew nodded, and they both approached the small cabin where the music seemed to be coming from. They were just about to look. Do you still hear like different thuds? I'm sorry for pausing again. Hopefully it's not so bothersome. But I'll start over and no more pauses. Promise. Okay, so rustling could be heard throughout the forest this time of year. The autumn leaves fell softly to the ground, and sometimes single, brightly colored leaves floated up towards the sky. "Do you hear those wonderful songs too?" whispered Bruce the bear when he spotted Matthew the raccoon behind a tree. Matthew nodded, and they both approached the small cabin where the music seemed to be coming from. They were just about to look into the open window when something rustled the leaves on the ground behind them, and they jumped. "You scared us," said Bruce when he saw who it was. "You scared us," said Bruce when he saw who it was. A small pointy nose peeking out from the dense foliage. It was Brian the hedgehog. Could you see who's been making that beautiful music in there?" asked Brian. "I've been listening to it for days. This was the first time I dared to come over. Rumor has it that there is a man living in this cabin who carries a rifle." Matthew and Bruce took a few steps back from the building. "It may be that a man with a rifle lives here," Matthew said boldly, "but the music that comes from this cabin is so joyful and beautiful that I think that if we are very careful, it won't be dangerous for us here." They looked for a spot close to the cabin to sit and listen. The wind carried the beautiful sounds of the many instruments toward them. They came back each evening after that. More and more animals gathered as well. A shy deer, a wild cat, a hare, and an owl. They all loved the music. The nights were getting colder as autumn turned to winter, a change that the animals knew well. One evening, as everyone gathered to listen to the music, they noticed that the light coming from the cabin no longer shone as brightly, and worse, they could no longer hear the music. "I'm going to go over there and take a closer look," said Brian bravely. "Something isn't right. It even looks different than usual. But when he got close to the cabin, he couldn't reach the window. He called out to the others, "I'm too short, I can't see inside." So Bruce and Matthew approached the cabin next. They were careful not to break any branches with their heavy paws that would alert the cabin dweller to their presence. Bruce said, "I'm going to try to look inside." The other two nodded eagerly. When Bruce returned, he whispered, "There's a curtain inside the window. I can only make out whose shadows. Plus, the window seems to have been closed. That's why we can't hear anything." They returned to the other animals, and Bruce told them what he had seen. The animals were confused. Then the wise owl interrupted their thoughtful silence. "Of course the inhabitant of this cabin has closed the window," she explained. "After all, it has become bitterly cold. And as far as I know, humans don't have warming fur or thick feathers to keep them warm." A murmur went through the small group. So the cabin dweller continued to live here and probably listen to his beautiful music, but to protect himself from the cold of the coming winter, he had drawn the curtains and closed the window. "Well, there goes our evening music," grumbled Bruce. Everyone was disappointed. "Yes, I guess our beautiful evenings here in the clearing are over," said the deer, already saying goodbye to the other animals. Hang on, if the music won't come from the cabin anymore, we'll just have to make it ourselves, said Brian. The other animals looked at him curiously. What do you mean, make it ourselves? Said Matthew. Brian told him that he used to live in the village behind the forest. There were some stores there and many houses where people lived, but most importantly, there was also a school where they taught music. It's all true, the wise owl nodded and continued. I slept under the roof of the school for a while, so I saw it myself, she said. At the school, they play music every day, and what's even better is that there's an old storeroom in the school auditorium that has discarded instruments. Apart from a few cobwebs and dust, the instruments still look quite good. Before they end up in a landfill, we could take them and give them a second chance. What do you think? The assembled animals nodded their agreement enthusiastically. Let's save the instruments from the landfill, shouted Matthew. They made a plan and decided to walk down to the village together at dusk the very next day, and then sneak into the school's storeroom. The next afternoon, as agreed, they met at the clearing. We'll leave as soon as it's dusk, said Brian. That's right, and we've got to be really quiet. No one can hear or see us, understand? Added Bruce. The wise owl offered to give directions from above and keep watch. I'll let you know when the coast is clear. Until then, everyone stay in your positions, okay? Everyone agreed. As the sun set, the animals made their way to the village. The houses were full of people and warm lights shone through their windows. Every now and then, shadows would be seen behind the curtains, but outside, the streets and yards were quiet. This is great, Brian exclaimed. They all seem to be staying in their houses because it's so cold outside. The animals approached the school. There she is, said the deer, pointing to the owl. They all looked up at the sky. Shh, quiet. We have to wait for her signal, whispered Bruce. They watched as she circled the school, looking conscientiously in all directions. The coast is clear, she said. She was careful not to attract any attention. Now the animals began to take up their positions, just as they had discussed at the campfire the night before. Bruce was the biggest of them, and therefore would keep watch in front of the school. The deer watched from farther away in order to be able to pass on a warning to Bruce in time if someone came along. The others climbed through the basement hatch and searched inside the building for the storage room. The owl had given them an old map that showed the room on the forest side of the building. Using the map, the animals were able to easily navigate and they found the room in no time. It's not locked, cheered Brian. They chose an upright bass for Matthew, a saxophone for Bruce, and a flute for Brian. They wiped away a few cobwebs and blew off the dust. Then they quickly carried the instruments back through the door of the school and moved in the shadows of the building so as to not be seen. We did it, said Bruce, when they were safely back in the clearing. It would have been awful to just throw these beautiful instruments into the landfill, said Matthew. From that day on, wonderful music could once again be heard coming from the edge of the clearing after dark. The end. Leo the cat gets spring fever, is it? Oh, never mind. Not that one. Okay, so there's that one. Let's see. See if there's any more stories. Hmm. Maybe one more story and I'll just read one of my poems, I guess. Thank you for the lure. Hmm. Let's see. The Old Lady and Her Secret Helpers. Okay, this one's kind of short. Okay, so the next one is from the same website. Linking it again if you would like to follow along. And it's called again The Old Lady and Her Secret Helpers. There we go. Okay, I have it pulled up now and gonna start reading it after I get another sip of water. Okay. So the old lady and her secret helpers. The last of the snow was thawing as the spring sun appeared for longer and longer during the day. The neighborhood children's snowmen melted and left large puddles on the sidewalks. The warm rays lured residents out of their homes and into their gardens. As usual, the winter had left piles of old leaves, broken branches, and fallen shrubs strewn across the lawns and flower beds. In a small house at the end of the street lived an old lady who loved her large garden very much. There were old trees that always bore abundant fruit, which she used to make compote and jam. Was compote and jam, so she had a large supply for the winter. In spring, birds would build their nests in the branches, and she would watch from her garden bench as the fledglings made their first attempts to fly. She loved when the bees, hummingbirds, and butterflies visited her garden. She always took great care to arrange the plants so that there were plenty of treats for all the wildlife to choose from at any time of the year. One particularly beautiful spring day, the old lady looked out of her window and saw her neighbors already hard at work in their gardens. She went outside and walked very slowly to her garden bench, which was under a big old cherry tree. She looked around and saw the remaining piles of snow in the shady corners of the garden. The bushes behind them were swaying very slightly in the wind, and she thought she could hear a soft, tinkling sound. She noticed several colorful spots in the yard. There were yellow and purple orchises, as well as daffodils and tulips beginning to show their delicate tips. These spring heralds didn't mind the winter. They could hardly wait to reach out to the sun. Everywhere she looked, the earth was breaking open to reveal the most delicate and beautiful colors of spring. As the woman rose from the bench to fetch a rake and a spade from the tool shed, she felt a sharp pain in her back. Oh dear, she thought. How am I going to manage to work this year if I can't even bend down to the garden beds? She sat back down in hope that she just needed a bit more rest. There was a bustle of activity around her. The children's voices carried on to her yard as they played hide and seek in the neighborhood. She was reminded of years past when her garden was also lively. The memories brought a smile to her face. She was jolted out of her thoughts by a soft buzzing sound. A little bee had joined her on the bench, spreading his wings to warm up in the sun. Hello, little bee, she said. Are you already on the lookout for good foraging spots in the area? I've loved providing you with delicious nectar and welcoming you to my home all these years. But I'm afraid that I won't be able to manage the work this year. She continued to tell the little bee about all that was troubling her. In response, the bee buzzed and briefly fluttered his wings before rising into the air, circling the old lady a few times and flying away. A few titmice were sitting in the nearby cherry tree and had overheard the whole conversation, as did a mole poking his nose out of a hole in the ground. All the animals of the garden wanted to help her. She had always provided for them, so they wanted to return the favor. The titmice pecked the vermin from the trees so that they could grow undisturbed. The mole crawled under the garden beds and loosened the soil as best he could. The little bee flew to the garden gnomes to describe the old lady's plight and ask for their help. That night, the garden gnomes went to work. In no time at all, the trees were pruned, the hedges were trimmed, and the fallen leaves were raked. Oh my gosh. If you looked closely, you could just make out their little blue pointed hats behind the flowers, darting eagerly back and forth as they worked. They cleared the garden beds of weeds and replanted them with flowers and shrubs organized to be in bloom in each season. When the garden gnomes carefully sprinkled all the plants with the precious water from their secret spring, the garden magically transformed into a beautiful, blooming spring landscape. The next morning, when the old lady looked out the window, she couldn't believe her eyes. All the work in the garden was done. Even the fence had been given a new coat of paint. She was so grateful for her secret helpers and wondered how she could thank them. She selected some beautiful gems from her jewelry case and carefully placed them in the newly planted flower beds. She knew the garden gnomes would be pleased to find them. The end. Okay. Now, as for a poem, I guess I'll just read one of my old ones. Let me get my laptop. Okay. Oh. But yeah, those were the bedtime stories of the night. Right now, I'm just gonna be reading one of my poems and then I'll end the stream. Hold, I'm currently trying to like bring it up. Stuff is loading really slow. Okay, I have my poems pulled up. Let me find one to read. There's one that I want to read, but I guess I'm saving that one for some other time. I don't know. Let's see what I have. Cause like Hmm. Okay, I guess I'll read one or two. Okay, well, this one's called Last Night I Had a Dream. So, in some way, it's relative to, bedtime. Okay, so let me type that in. Okay, so the name of this poem is called Last Night I Had a Dream, and it's by me. So, yeah, it's not the best, but it's just something to help. I, I don't know. I just like poetry, and it's helping me put it out to people. But it's called Last Night I Had a Dream. Last night I had a dream, though I think not of you. Oh, how unwanted, though given the need to. Love, I opened and caged, and in my slumber freed, touches starved and ravenous as it bombards on your memorable feed. Of you, who fed me so often, seasoned lies and seasoned truths, both tasted good, but left me with a rotten tooth. You're always there, whether I like it or not, rather in thought or in word, and forever in memory. Yet never in entirety. Last night I had a dream and dreamt not of you, for I am the source of the love needed and of the love in heart. Okay, so that last stanza I need to work on because it kind of is different from the rest of it. So I'm gonna have to work on that stanza. The last one, that's for I am the source of the love needed and of the love in heart. And the second one is called um it's called Oh My Memoir, My Memory. Oh My Memoir. Superb. Thank you. But like yeah, I have to work on that last one. The last part of the one before. Okay. This one is called Oh My Memoir, My Memory. Oh my memoir, my memory, as you stand before my mind's entry. What is it you want of me? What is it you are stealing from me? What makes you think I have anything to say? Oh, my memoir, my memory, I must stop you at the gate before it is much too late and the moment's content is inexhaust and can't help. The information I give out are but scraps of cerebral history, damaged by misery, left with the mercy of perseverance and disorganized by the medicine. Ruins of my mind had been salvaged, burned by the treatment. It's good, it did what it had to, but I lost contact with the memory. Oh, the memory, oh memoir, of a me that sung, a me that danced, a me that wasn't scared to be me. Oh, my memoir, my memory, is torn, and I am at a loss on how to mend it. Oh, my memoir, my memory, this is all I can offer. I feel like I could have read that better, but that's another one of my poems. So yeah, that's another one. But yeah, I have lots, but I'm saving basically my life savings. But yeah, but my most like beloved one when I show like my poems to people is Poor Nightingale. And that one is like it's my favorite one and it's one that I wrote in 20 minutes um in high school. It was just but it was cool the way I did it because like usually I write my poems on like like index cards. I don't know why I do that. I just do. And it's so cool because I still have like the original draft and it's like it looks like ancient. You know how like when you find like different like ancient I don't know things in research like old papers and of books of years ago or whatever and they're like torn or tarnished or whatever. It looks like that. And it's really cool even though it's been like 7 years since I wrote it. It, it just it's cool and I have it like in a Ziploc bag now because like they're kind of like tearing and it's like flimsy. But yeah, I remember I wrote that in like 20 minutes because it was basically about someone like I had a huge crush on. And so it was like, I know this is too dramatic to say or whatever. It's just, I don't know. I was thinking about them a lot or whatever. And I thought about this concept and I wrote it like in that poem all of what I was feeling, but it was like super condensed. And that was like one of the moments I was like, okay, I'm not good at a lot of things, but I know this is something I'm pretty really good at. And so that's the only thing that I'm most confident about is my poetry. And yeah. So that was two of them. Maybe Poor Nightingale would be read. I don't know, but that one was something big a part of my heart. But yeah, time to end the stream. I hope it was okay. I stuttered a lot. This is my second time, my second bedtime story stream. So I gotta get used to it still. And speaking, I guess at a pace that'll help me not stutter as much. Super relaxing. I hope so. And if not, then that's okay. Um, but yeah, time to time to rest. And to others that's here, go. I don't know if she's gonna be mad at me if I say this or not. Not mad at me, but like a oh, don't do that. Go watch Angel Inui's ASMR stream. I know it's gonna be amazing. So go support her. If anyone comes across this on the VOD or if anyone else is lurking, don't tell her that if she's sleeping right now. But okay. I'll do the shout out here. Shout out username Angel underscore Inui. I know I did it like a couple of days ago, but I'm doing it again. And like, go watch. Go follow, basically. Like that's what it has at the top. Yeah, go watch her ASMR, but it's her first time. But I know she'll do great. So yeah. Alright. Let me get to the ending. Oh dang, I didn't even know my BGM ended. Well, it is a 2-hour thing. But okay. Next time I won't blabber. Thank you for the stream. Thank you for coming. Thank you to all those who came. and witness my blabbering about GL um and characters and whatever. Before, let me stop before I get more into it again. So yeah, but I hope you had a good weekend, and good day. But let me get to the ending. Dance with me, please, in my low frame rate
I didn't see you there.
movements.
Don't
Alright.
be shy. Make yourself comfortable. Surprised? I've been known to tickle the ivories time to time. There's few things more entertaining than a good song, don't you think? I'm rather fond of this one. It's a little bit after my time, but it is such a thoughtful melody. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away. And I will just say hello to the folks that you know. Tell them you won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as I saw you go, you were singing this song. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Until we meet again, my friend.
Okay, well, good night. Good night. Rest well, sleep well, and until we meet again, good night. Bye bye.